Welcome, everybody. Let's take a look at the market. We'll look at the weekly, the daily, and the intraday charts. Last week on Saturday, I said that the market might be reaching a top because we had, especially on the SPX, we had these two dojis side by side. But of course, I said we needed to wait for confirmation. Well, we didn't get the confirmation. We got more bullish tendency. So there you go. And that's why I said that in that video. Yes, I believe that the market was showing weakness, but we needed to wait for confirmation. And we'll talk about why is the market way up here approaching 5,300. We'll talk about that in the daily. But just looking at the weekly here, hit all-time highs again this week. And 52.89.5. Right now it's at 52.85, kind of bouncing around here. It's only about 2:30 here, my time, when the market doesn't close realistically till about 3:15. So another 45 minutes. So there's still plenty of trading to go here for another 45 minutes, intraday-ish. And then, of course, futures close at 4. So there's another hour and a half of that from now. March 31st, well, we'll see. We'll see. When we look at the daily, we'll see that March 20th was kind of just ignored and blown right through. So we'll just have to see whether or not anything even happens here. It may not, especially with what's going on here right now. We'll just have to see what kind of activity we get here. But we'll keep it on there and just wait to see what the market does, because what else are you going to do when you're at historical, never-ending madness. As the title of this video indicates, the madness has continued. And I just want to touch on a few things here. I want to make a buck, as much as anybody else in the market. And trading, we take advantage of the market, right? That's what we do as traders. We take advantage of the market, we make money. And I'm no different than any other trader. I'm trying to make a buck. And I know people just say, hey, shut up, get us. Who cares? We're just trying to make money. And that's cool. I understand that. And I'm kind of in that boat too. Let the market do whatever it's going to do. If it's bullish, so be it. We just continue to make money on the long side. But at the same time, I want to just touch on this topic. I touched on it before. Is this? This is what's called a runaway market. And I think a lot of people don't understand that just because the market's going straight up all the time, that doesn't mean that all is well. In fact, this is a sign of some really bad things going on. And, I'm not going to sit here and do the gloom and doom thing. Last week on Saturday when I said I think there were some signs of the market weakening, well, I said it because there was signs of the market weakening. Okay, it wasn't a gloom and doom message. I don't put out videos every week and every day saying, oh my gosh, the market's going to crash, like these idiots who every day are putting up, videos about, the world's on fire and everything's going to collapse tomorrow, I don't do that. I just read the market and then put out what my opinion is. But I will say that the market is extremely overblown. I don't think anybody, well, I shouldn't say anybody. I don't think those that are in the know, I suppose is the way to say this, actually believes that the top 500 companies that make up the S&P 500 actually have this kind of valuation. Nobody actually honestly believes that. But the show goes on, right? You just trade because that's what the market gives you, and you go do your thing. Now, at some point, I think you're going to see a 50% decline in the stock market. I don't know, maybe that's in 2024, maybe not, I don't know, but it's most likely going to happen. We're going to see a massive decline at some point. The market's going to give it up. And today, well, let me just finish up the weekly, and we'll move over to the daily, and I'll talk about today. So there are the dates. For now, I'm going to keep March 31st there. We'll just see what the market does. It looks like there might be a support starting to kind of take place right here. So I may have to put something right there, which is approximately the bottom of this candlestick, which let's see. Yeah, it's 51.81, and the bottom of this one is 51.57. So not exactly the same. it's kind of hard to put a support there. We could kind of split the difference, but I'm going to let this thing just do its thing and run its course, and we'll just see what kind of candlestick configurations we get. The week is not over, but based on what came out today, the chances of this pulling back and getting below its open are probably pretty low, right? All right, so where is look at this down here. And the last 2 weeks I talked about this on the MACD on the weekly chart here. Remember, we're talking about the weekly chart. Look at the MACD. It's at 201, approaching 202. I'm telling you, of course, that's all-time highs on the MACD, so momentum has gone nuts. It's double, right? It's two deviations away, right? I mean, you got, here's 100, and we're up here at 200. Now here's 0. When you look at it here, it doesn't look like a big deal, but it's a huge, this is just huge. Okay, this is not sustainable, and I said it before. It's not sustainable. It's an ugly looking arrow. Totally not sustainable. And no matter which way you slice it, the market's going to have a massive crash. Now, I don't think it's just going to crash straight down all in one shot, and do one of those deals. That's not normally how it works. I think you'll have some declines that happen maybe sometime out here in June. It could be late May, whatever. Could be April, May, June, whatever. I have it right here in June for now because it seems to be that's where the cycles are at. But with this market, who knows? Who knows where these cycles are actually going to occur? And I also said this last few weeks, nobody really knows where the top is on this, right? I mean, Fibonacci has become pointless. It really is just a pointless tool. Don't waste your time with it because it doesn't make any sense. Right? There is no real Fibonacci extension that makes any sense. We're just in uncharted waters. That's all this is. This is just why I said the title of this video is The Madness Continues, because it is madness. I mean, look at this. It's madness, right? The Federal Reserve, at least in part, they have their part to play in this madness, right? I mean, the U.S. Treasury, let me just give you guys a little bit of background here, okay? It's supposed to be an S, so forgive me for my chicken scratch here. But the U.S. Treasury, and I'll just put here TRE for U.S. Treasury. They are, according to the Constitution of the United States of America, they're supposed to handle the credits, which is a plus, and the debits. So if you think of a ledger's like this, right? You've got some let's say you got some credits over here, you might have debits over here. Sometimes it's reverse credit, you might have plus over here, minus over here. It doesn't really matter. But this is just a really basic ledger, right? Over here you have a description. So there's a description of what's going on, right? This is really basic accounting stuff, right? So let's say you have taxes coming into the United States. They tax corporations. Then they put here tax corporations, and over here is a plus. $150 billion this quarter from taxing corporations. And then minuses might be, the next line down would be like some type of expenditure. Something like bureaucrats and congressmen and senators steal money from the U.S. Treasury. Oops, I'm sorry. That's not supposed to be a valid description, but my bad. Right. Anyways, so you get my point, right? There's like some type of debit there, a plus, a minus. This is supposed to be all done by the U.S. Treasury. That's what the Constitution says. You go read it. It talks about coin, because back in the old days, there was no such thing as paper dollars. It was all done with metals, done with coins, silver and gold. At least in part, you had silver was what the coin was made out of. A viable metal, a product you could actually put your hands on, something that comes from the earth, right? Not wood. Just think about paper. It just comes from woods, trees. But silver has value to it, right? It's a mineral, a metal that can be used. It's used in electronics. It's got a lot of value to it. It's got real world value. Okay. So anyways, that's what the U.S. Treasury basically says in a nutshell. It's supposed to handle the pluses and the minuses. Not some conjured up, fakey, made up backroom deal made out on some, Jekyll Island or whatever the hell that island was called, the Federal Reserve. Okay? Which there is no such thing as Federal Reserve. They're not federal anything. They're not part of the U.S. government. This is fake. And so the reason I'm mentioning all this and giving a little background here is because they're part of the problem. I'm not saying that the Federal Reserve alone is the entire problem, but they're definitely a big part of the problem. They made this mess. They helped conjure up this mess with all their stupid, ridiculous policies. And you can only, it's like, how do I explain this? You can just print, right now they're just a printing machine, right? They just print out money. Now they can cut rates all they want. They can cut their lending rate or increase their lending rate all they want. They have no control. It's done. They can't save the United States of America. We are 35 trillion with a T in national debt. It doesn't matter what these jokers do. They're shooting blanks. So just a real quick, very scruffy historical context and what these morons are doing. One of their mandates is to control the monetary policy. Yeah, good job at that. Not. So this right here, what you're seeing, this runaway market, is just a reflection of how bad things are in the United States, right? The massive $35 trillion U.S. debt, which nobody's talking about how to deal with this because they know they can't. The Federal Reserve is shooting blanks. Oh, we're going to increase rates to get this under control. We know what we're doing. And then today they say, when they came out with their stupid news, let's switch over to the daily and we'll talk about that. Right, so here on the daily, see if I can make this any better and any bigger because it's kind of a mess here. Let's see. Maybe something like that's going to make it good. Yeah, okay, there we go. All right, so today you can see we had this basically just, I don't want to call it a blow off top, but it's got a blow off top kind of nature to it. Boom, it just blows off. Everybody, once again, the world waited around all day and didn't trade. The market was extremely flat. We'll see that in intraday charts. And the world waited with bated breath for the oracles over at the Federal Reserve to give everybody permission to trade again. That's what I think about that. And then, of course, as soon as they came out and said, we're not raising rates. In fact, we're going to reduce rates later in the year. We're going to keep our promise. And the market went nuts. Yeah, now, some people have said, trading is gambling. I don't agree with them. It's not. But today was. When you see this kind of activity after the FOMO meeting, that's gambling. That's just gambling. That's total nonsense. It's got nothing to do with true evaluation of the 500 companies that make up the S&P 500. It's just BS. What you see after the Fed goes and spews their garbage. Now they raised their lending rate over the last year or two or whatever. They did their Joker circus routine and said, we got to get this inflation under control, blah, blah, blah. And which it's not. Inflation is still not under control. I don't care what they say. They can they can post all their numbers they want about how inflation's come down and blah 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 and all this stuff. I don't know about you guys, but when I go to the gas station, fuel's still up. When I go to the supermarket, food is still crazy expensive. So it doesn't matter what they print on pieces of paper and lie to everybody. We all can see for ourselves prices are still way out of control, right? So real world prices are still extremely elevated and they haven't come down. So these people are full of it. They're absolutely full of it. They don't have anything under control. And I'm telling you right now, and I know that like I said earlier in the video, yes, I want to make a buck just as much as the next guy. And I have no problem making money off of the market going long. That's great. Just continue to make money. Okay. But I'm telling you right now, you're going to see a massive, massive failure in the stock market. I can't say when. And I'm not talking about a 10 or 15% drop. The market's going to pull back 50%. Maybe it's in 2025. Maybe it's 2020. Based on like long-term data, kind of what I look at, I can see 2025, 2026 kind of being maybe the peak of the market. And then as we slip and slide going towards the 2030s, I think you're going to see, and it could be sooner, but at least that's what I think you'll see it for sure. You're going to see a massive collapse in the United States. I think, and I said this, I think a week or two ago, the next 10 years for the United States are going to be really hard for people. It's going to be ugly. I'm telling you, it's coming. It's going to be nasty. This is not sustainable. This is just madness. So, meantime, we'll continue to make the buck. Whatever. If it was me, you want my opinion, because everything I do in these videos is opinion. If it was me, I would be translating my cash into hard assets, something that has tangible value, right? Like own property in your home, pay off that mortgage. You own that property. That's a good place to put your money, because no matter what the world's doing, at least you don't have a mortgage, right? You own your property, you own your land, you own the house. All right, you don't have a mortgage. So that's where I would put one of the places you could put money. If you look at the gold market, of course, it's going nuts, because those that are in the know, even though the gold and the stock market are both doing the same thing right now, they're in sync. They're both going up. But eventually, you're going to see a divergence between those two, right? Gold may continue to go up, and the market's going to slide. Because gold, well, it's always considered a very valuable commodity, right? So that's why gold's going nuts right now. I mean, gold, just like the stock market today, went bananas on the fear of missing out meeting. Gold went up like crazy. I mean, there was a few $1 million made like instantly. Whatever. Tens of millions of dollars made instantly in gold, Now that gold, at least with that, I can say, okay, that's potentially realistic. I can see why money would rotate into gold. Okay, but in the top 500 companies of America, do I believe that they just gained with the massive run-up that happened today? Do I honestly believe those companies became more valuable? No, I don't believe that for 1 second. And I don't think anybody with any financial sense believes that's even realistic. So again, on one side, yes, make the money while you can. On the other side, I guess from a purist ideological perspective, this is just madness, right? Well, we don't live in a pure ideological world, right? We live in this world with the madness that goes along with it. So, take advantage of the madness, right? But I'm just putting this out there that I know this is not sustainable. I don't just think it's not sustainable. I know it's not sustainable, and there will be a collapse. It's just a matter of when, and it may play out over a few years, whatever. But we'll wait to see how that works out. For now, we're approaching 5,300 here on the daily chart. It's kind of pulled back a little bit. I think what's going to happen, I don't know when. You'll probably see it kind of, there's not really a gap here, but I think you're going to kind of see it fill and backfill and come down. And that little madness that we got today, I don't think that's going to hold up. I think it's going to lose all this at some point and come back down here. All right, so that's kind of my take on that. We got March 20th, obviously nothing happened there, so we'll take that off the board. I mean, I guess this was maybe, but I can't even really call that March 20th, because this has just been the stair-step thing going on here. That's all that is. That's just another stair-step deal. That's all that is. That's not like any kind of cyclical thing, in my opinion. I just don't think this cycle is even, there's nothing to it. It just got gobbled up, All right, let's take a look at the intraday charts. All right, so here we are on the 5-minute chart. Now, last night, this is when the market opened. You can see it stayed kind of flat. It dropped a little bit below this 52.40 area, but pretty much stayed flat almost all the way through the night. And then all the way through intraday, just chop, chop, chop. And why would it do that? Because everybody knows that the FOMO meeting, I call it the FOMO meeting, right? It's the fear of missing out meeting that the jackals over at the Federal Reserve, spew their nasty and all hail the Fed and all bow to the Federal Reserve. Just think about it. That's really what's happening on the face of the earth. All bow to the Fed, and everybody do as we command. Oh God, it's putrid. It's just putrid. The way the world, gets on their knees for these clowns it's disgusting. But in any case, this ran all the way, and look what happened, folks. Bingo! Right after they said, we're not going to raise any rates. In fact, we're going to cut. We promise America and the rest of the world us Federal Reserve, we're such good guys. We care about America, even though we helped create this problem. you know, but we're going to save the world. And we've said what we've said. All hail the Fed and bow down to the Fed. And we've saved the day because we're not going to raise rates. And bingo, presto, the S&P 500 immediately became more valuable. And it went nuts. So that happened exactly after they got done talking. So there's really nothing to talk about for the trade of the day, because there is no trade of the day, because all this is irrelevant when the entire world gets on their knees and literally bows down. Bows down. You know what this is called, folks? Like I said earlier, I have no problem making a buck as much as the next guy. Okay, but I believe in free markets. I don't believe in this trash. I despise socialism, and I don't care if anybody on the left likes it or not. You can go pound sand. I believe in free markets, and this garbage is anything but free markets. All bow. Bow to the feds. You shall bow. That's all this garbage is right here. Everybody bowed like cowards the whole day. This is not free market trading. This is everybody hyperventilating, and then the hysteria. So there is no trade of the day. Yes, I'm blowing a little venting today, but oh well, deal with it. The cycle low, believe it or not, today, now talking to the members here specifically, the cycle low on the hourly chart really didn't do anything today, and it's obvious why, right? I mean, the free market flow that would typically happen was suspended, right? You can just see it was suspended. So that even on the hourly chart, there was nothing. It was just a flat line the whole day. So normally, though, the hourly cycles have been really, really good. And yes, I have an opinion about tomorrow, and I'll give my opinion about tomorrow. So make sure you read your emails. Last night I said that the market could go either way. Of course, with the FOMO meeting, you know, the crazies are going to come out and usually trade the market up. On anything that isn't either not bad news or neutral news, the crazies will always trade up. That's what they do. But I do have an opinion about tomorrow. And last night I said that I felt the market could go either way, and there was a small bias to down. Okay, obviously the FOMO meeting took care of any possibility of the market doing what it would naturally do, and traded the opposite of any small bias down, right? Yes, love the FOMO meeting. All right, I'm going to move on to the end of the video, talk about anybody that wants to become a member. Stick around. If not, hope you enjoyed the video. Yes, I ranted a little bit today, but you know what? I like to tell it like it is. I think this market is full of you-know-what. And I will continue to make money off the long market, of course, as much as everybody else. But I think the market is a load of crap. And I don't think these valuations are anything near real. And at some point in the next few years, it's going to be proven correct when we get this massive 40 or 50% decline in the market. It's going to happen. All right. God bless everybody. Hope everybody had a good day. I'm sure a lot of money was made on the FOMO run up. And members, don't forget to read your email tonight. Okay. Okay, so if you want to join, that's great. The membership is extremely affordable. The membership's been very, very valuable. A lot of people, the members are making some pretty good bank, okay? I made a lot of money off the service myself, because obviously I'm the one that created the service. But I know quite a few other members now. I don't know what the membership is up to, but it's been steadily growing, thank God. But it's been steadily growing. I know a lot of people are making some good money off the membership. Oh, there's the intraday bell closing. And the membership's been really good. For the $8.79 is an extreme value. You got the streaming charts down here. So there's a discord.com link in the instructions just below this video on YouTube. So make sure you read the instructions carefully. Then click on the discord.com link. It's going to bring you over to the server, get a server. Then you're going to click on server shop. Come here, $7.99 a month. The streaming charts are down here, guys and gals. So once you join, just click on this down here. You get the streaming charts. I run the streaming charts 5 days a week, as long as the market's open. It's not some federal holiday or whatever. The markets are open. The streaming charts are open 5 days a week, 24 hours a day, because I'm streaming the futures, the S&P 500 futures. Okay, I also stream gold futures 24 hours a day as well. All right, so really, really nice. Just added the gold stream recently, I think last week. All right, so super nice. You get the 5 minutes and 15 minute and 1 hour chart on both those streams. So make sure when you join, just ask me you can always ask me in the member chat, hey, Gittes, 2 things you want to ask me. Where is the video for new members? Because there's a nice video for new members so they can get an idea of how I use the Gittes Plus indicator and some of the other indicators and how I trade, okay? And also ask me about the link for the gold server, and I will give you the link for the gold server, okay? So that's that. Also, these streaming charts send alerts to these channels, so you get the alerts, which is really, really nice. Okay, so after this, in addition to the Gittes Plus indicator doing its thing, you also get the alerts that go along with it. So you can always just right click on these channels here and turn notifications on, which is what a lot of people do if you want to get notifications and you don't have the opportunity to watch the streams live. Yeah. Okay, premium symbols at the end of each day. Put the premium symbols in here Monday through Thursday. So you want to check those symbols out because there's some nice symbols in there. Future symbols, optional stocks are in there, and some industry symbols are in there. So really nice. Okay, here the Gittes Only Post channel. This is where I'll post a link to this video, as well as when I put out the nightly email, I notify everybody in this channel. So you can go in there and actually watch the video in this channel, or you can click on it and it'll take you to YouTube. Either way, that works. Okay. Okay, speaking of nightly emails, if you want to get the nightly email, put your email address here in the emails only channel. And I send out every night, Monday through Thursday, a daily chart of the S&P 500. It's going to have the daily cycles on there. It's going to have the support and resistance lines on there. All right, so really valuable. A lot of people sign up just for the nightly email. Okay, some of the members are not day traders. They're just either swing traders or investors, and they just want the email so they get a sense of what the market's doing every day. Okay, so that's what I do with the email every night. So if you want that, make sure you put your email in there. Okay, yes, I do trade corporate bonds from time to time. If I do that, they'll be here in the fixed income channel. And then regular chat just happens here, but in the member chat and the S&P 500 chat channels. So this is everything you get for the $7.99. Okay, you're getting the streaming charts for both the S&P 500 and gold. You're getting the alerts that come along with it. You get the premium symbols Monday through Thursday. Okay, you get the Gittes Only Post channel so you can watch the video I put out every day. You get the nightly emails. I mean, there's a lot going on here for $7.99. It's a really good value, okay? Let me just talk about the rules for a second, because you got to read the rules, right? I don't want anybody complaining and saying, I don't know about what's refund. Make sure you read the rules so you understand there's a refund rule in there. Okay, there's also a rules in there about please be nice to everybody else on the server. Don't post any nasty language. Don't post any dirty stuff. Okay, I won't tolerate any nasty language or foul language or dirty pictures trying to be posted or nasty links or anything like that. Don't do that. If you do that, you're going to get warned. If you keep doing it, you're going to get kicked or banned. All right, so don't do it, okay? And lastly, there's a disclaimer in there that I'm not a financial advisor. And everything on this server, everything, no matter who's posting it, me or anybody else, is strictly educational purposes only, all right? No financial advice is implied whatsoever. You are responsible for your trading, guys. Yes, the service is an awesome service, and I honestly believe, in my opinion, it's going to help you become a much better trader, and you should be profitable if you're patient. But ultimately, you are responsible for your own trading, okay? All right, that's pretty much it. Happy trading, everybody. I hope everybody made some good bucks off that FOMO run-up after the Fed heads talk today. God bless everybody. We'll talk to you all real soon again next time.